Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 71 of Shattered Image. This one is titled Preparations. On the Wednesday of that week, you had your next psych session and approached the idea of still being able to use your quirk, but in bursts so that you wouldn't hurt anyone or do any extra damage to yourself. And she wrote down some things and then reached for her referral pad. This is a good question, she said curiously, and being a hero in training, I understand where you're coming from. I'm getting trained from pro hero Eraserhead, you said proudly, and he's giving me more good hand-to-hand combat practice, but I'd still like to be able to use my quirk if I can. Yes, that is understandable, she replied. I'll write a referral for some tests to be done here at the hospital so that we can see what your parameters are. I'll also make a note that we discussed this so that it will come up on your court case notes. Yeah, thank you. Eraserhead asked me to tell you to make sure it was documented. You said. She nodded. Yes, it makes sense. Now, let's talk about the upcoming court case. How are you feeling? She asked, putting her pen and paper down to listen to you. I'm okay, you replied. I've got Sero and Aizawa there. They're all I need, you said. And your parents? She asked, and you felt a little pang in your heart as you looked down. Yeah, they'll be there too, you said, and then paused. Yes, she prompted. I get the feeling you don't want them to be there. Well, I kinda don't, you said. Like, things are okay at home now, and I don't know if this is going to open up a can of worms again. Mum just gets really emotional, and it affects me. You said, I can't afford to start feeling things while I'm sitting up there. The therapist nodded. Your mum is feeling her own emotions, and that's okay for her. I know it's hard to separate yourself from her, especially since you care about her so much, but you are not responsible for what she's feeling, especially when it's in the past. All you can do is look forwards. She added, do you have any things that you're looking forward to after the court case is finished? Something you can focus on mentally to keep you positive and looking at something good? You thought for a second and then got this image of yourself kissing Sero and felt a rush of heat through your face. Not really, you lied. But, I get my new hero outfit then, and I'm looking forward to wearing it. That's really exciting, she said with a smile. If you start feeling overwhelmed with emotions, just think about the hero outfit that you'll get to wear after the court case. Something good, something positive. Yeah, you said, thinking about kissing Sarah again, and then coughing and covering your mouth and face with your hands. Yeah, something positive. The rest of that session went well, and then you headed home for the evening, readying yourself for the rest of the week and then the court case on Monday. You could feel your mum was a little on edge leading up to the court case, which was understandable. You overheard a few phone calls between her and the lawyer, as well as her and your teacher Aizawa, but aside from that you were left out of it. They all wanted you to be as stress-free as possible, which you understood. There was a lot riding on this, so by the time Friday's practice session with Aizawa came around, you were starting to get a little on edge yourself. Focus, Yun, he called as he successfully wrapped his scarf around your wrist and then snatched your arm behind your back. Ugh! You grunted. Damn it. You're faster than this usually, he said as he held you, tightening his grip every time you moved. I've got a lot on my mind, you replied sharply back. Court case is on Monday, he commented. Yeah, thanks, I'm aware, you replied sassily. He didn't take offence to your comment. He had gotten to know you well enough now that he knew a lot about your anger and that it was directed at yourself, but you had worked at controlling yourself now, so you weren't as likely to snap. The chances were lower anyway, but never zero. Do I need to end the training early? He asked. No, I'm fine, you replied sharply. Someone who is fine would not be missing their chance to defend against an attack they've seen at least 6 times. He replied. Okay, so my mind wasn't locked in at that point. I'm sorry, sue me, you replied with a huff as he let you go. Villains aren't going to be as forgiving, he commented. Remember, in real life, you have to stay focused and can't afford to let the other life events get in the way of your work. I know, you said with a scowl. Again, come at me again. You took a few steps back to put some distance between him and yourself, and then took a deep breath in and then out, and then let all of your thoughts and anxieties about Monday be swept back to the back of your mind. You needed to focus now. Aizawa crouched a little, and you tensed. Here he comes, you thought, watching his body language keenly. He glanced at your right arm, and you noticed. He's aiming for my right arm. You thought, okay, I'll put it forwards a bit to lure him in and then use the scarf to bind his hand, and then I can pull him off kilter. Just then he stepped to the right and lunged at you. Wait, you thought, your brain doing the quick maths in the milliseconds it took for him to jump at you and go to grab you. While he was still coming at you, everything seemed to slow down and you could read his movements as if he were moving in slow motion. His angle of attack is off. He's not going for my right arm, he's actually going for my torso, you thought, noting that he was keeping low. He's going to try and wrap the scarf around my middle and run past me to slam me back into the ground. Okay, I need height. If I wait for the last second, then jump, can I clear him? I have to. And then it's like everything went back to normal and you sprung up, kicking high with your legs so that you were flipped over and now doing a handstand on his back as he went to go to grab for you. And as you flipped over him, you wound the scarf around his neck and one arm, making the slip knot around his wrist pull tight so that you could snag his arm behind his back. But as soon as you disappeared overhead and then behind him, he dropped to the ground and rolled, pulling you forwards off your feet. I need to let the rope out so that he doesn't pull me over, you thought, as you let go of the scarf and then jumped him, landing with one knee on his chest and one foot planted on his bicep as you grabbed for the scarf again. He lay there, knowing he could continue this fight and get out, but he wanted you to feel like you had done a good job, and he was also impressed that you noticed his change of attack at the last second, so he lay there in defeat. Well done, he grunted, sitting up as soon as you got off. You did well to read my moves. See, you said, I can focus. I noticed. He commented, you done well. We'll end this now, since I have work, so we'll need to get to the agency soon. Oh, yeah, okay, you said. Oh, Mum is working the night shift tonight, so if you need a coffee, she'll be there, you added. Finally, something good. He mumbled under his breath, and you had to hide your smile. This man only loved one thing, coffee, and by proxy, your mum, because she bought him the coffee. Okay, well, good luck tonight, and I'll see you on Monday, you said as you wound your scarf, and then turned to go to the door to get your bag. Oh, Yin, Aizawa said as he got up off the ground. The court case hearing is at 11 a.m. You do not need to come to school. Take your time in the morning and then come straight to the courts. I will meet you at the front. Oh, okay, thanks, you said with a nod. Sero, yes, he will be there. I've already told his parents about him needing to be there for you. He said, okay, you said with a nod. Well, I'll see you then. You turned to go, but he called out one more time and pulled a parcel from inside his coat pocket. Ooh, what is it? I'll see you tomorrow to find out what is in the parcel. See you then.